Welcome back, guys. Hope you had a great week. And today I'm bringing you the ultimate Miscreated review 2019, where you start as a random survivor with nothing but a bit of clothing on you, a torch, and a map to guide you across the island, which is called Orca Island. And as you progress, you will find various weapons, various kinds of clothing, and you will be exposed to one of the most visually stunning survival games that you will ever encounter on PC at this moment. And that is the CryEngine, which this game has been created on. This game was started about 4 to 5 years ago with a handful of developers that was working independently from their homes, and up to today they still don't have a central office, and they're just communicating to each other through Skype and Discord. And yes, they've created something that is unique in every single aspect. Now, I've played DayZ, I've played 7 Days to Die, Project Zomboid, and various other survival games. And there's no other game that really brings me back to it on a constant basis. And the reason for this is every single step you take in Miscreated is just visually stunning. And the environment and the ambient sounds and the action and the gear that you accumulate over time really adds to the tension and the realism and the fear of dying. And as you can see, from a standard random survivor, you can build yourself up to look like one of the most awesome Marines in the Corps. This is a unique AK-47 called the Dictator. This is a stun baton, which you can basically let people pass out or kill mutants. This is a 9mm pistol with a 33 mag round and a suppressor. Actually, I think that's a 10 round magazine. And this is the daddy of sniper rifles with the suppressor on, the M40A5 with the sniper scope. And that is where you can end up in this game, guys. And that is what adds the fear of dying and the need to survive, is the fact that you start out with nothing and then you build yourself up, which is in essence every survival game's mission. But the difference with Miscreated is the weather and the ambient sounds and the small little details that makes it stand out amongst all other survival games. For instance, I've never enjoyed swimming in any game ever except for Miscreated. And it's these small little details that puts Miscreated ahead of the competition. And you will never know what this game has to offer until you give it at least 100 hours, which I guarantee you will enjoy from the beginning right up to the end. And if you experience any frustration, my channel has got multiple guides to help you from the start of your journey right up to the end of your journey. Talking about ambience, the scaling is something that is ridiculously perfect for any survival game at this moment. And just listen to Coming Out of the Tunnel. So immersive, guys, so immersive. And yes, I can't get past the scaling. This grill is the perfect height. That mountain looks perfect. The rubbish, the black bags looks perfect. The moon, the realism of everything you encounter in the game just helps you to live yourself into your character more and more. And that is why Miscreated has got one of the most adrenaline pumping PvP that you will ever encounter in your life, which I will not show you in this video. I want you to experience that for yourself, because the first time I experienced it, my son literally quit the game, and even I was a nervous wreck. But that is in essence the magic about Miscreated, is that it pulls you in more and more, and the more you play the game, the more you explore, the more you experience, the more weather patterns you come across, and the more you learn. Now, don't get me wrong, guys, there's a lot to learn in Miscreated, except for the beauty that is second to none because of the CryEngine. You've got your hunger that you need to keep an eye on. You've got your thirst. You've got your temperature. Then you've got your torpidity. Then you've got your bleeding markers. And then lastly, you've got poison and radiation, which can kill you as well. So there's a lot of factors which can kill you. But the biggest complaint that I've seen in most survival games is that they call it a running simulator. And I want you to imagine if this will ever feel like a running simulator. We were just 7 minutes in so far, guys. And as you can clearly see, the various scenarios that you will encounter in Miscreated will diminish any thought of a running simulator, because it's an experience, it's an adventure. It is one of the best role-playing games I have ever seen, because it is the challenge of surviving and exploring and knowing the island, which in this case is called Orca Island. The more you explore and the more you learn, the more dangerous you become, the more experienced you become, and the bigger your advantage is to other players. Because there's so many facets to the game that a pure PvP player will definitely have a disadvantage to an experienced Miscreated player. Not because he doesn't know how to survive, but because of the different elements. Where's the perfect shadows? What kind of clothing helps you in which instances? At what distance does a bullet do what damage? Up to what distance is it realistic to try and kill someone? And various tactics. I remember one time when I went up against a major PvP player that was really good in PUBG, and yes, he challenged me to a one-on-one match, and I said he can, use any pistol or gun he wants, but we have to gather the gun within 20 or 15 minutes. I think it was 15 minutes of playing the game. So he, of course, quickly got a 9mm, which was very lucky, and a pump action, and I got a tranquilizer gun. And yes, guys, I literally gave him one headshot with the tranquilizer, tied him up, took all his stuff, and just gave him an example of how my experience helps me in most instances. Of course, other players that are used to Miscreated and they're good at PvP, of course, has a major advantage. But I guarantee you, for a new player to come up against an experienced player in Miscreated, there won't be much of a difference, and both will have an equal chance. Now, as you can see, there's various weather effects that threaten you. You can see on my temperature gauge, I'm very cold. My torpidity is going up, so I'm getting tired because I'm getting cold, and I'm a bit radiated. I haven't got a lot of food. My water is low, so the heat, I need that heat just to stay alive. Here again, you can see my temperature isn't going down quickly until I get into the water. And that's what I'm talking about, those small little qualities of life. The fact that, getting into water in a cold, in cold weather will definitely bring down your body temperature at a rapid rate. And it's those small things that makes a difference. Here we are in a nuclear winter storm, which is one of many storms that you encounter in Miscreated. And what I'm doing here is just driving to one of many underground bunkers which I can use for a safe haven or protection from the elements. But that of course doesn't safeguard my safety, because someone could be waiting for me down here. So there's always a risk factor. And as you can see, what Miscreated's developers have done is they created a good balance with all the storms and the mutants and the PvP aspects of the game. I personally wasn't very happy when they nerfed some of the storms, because the radiation storm that you will see quite soon could kill you in a few seconds when it was at its max. Like right here. Now at the moment I've taken potassium tablets and anti-rad mushrooms so that my radiation isn't going up too quickly and I can still explore and loot. But again, if I have to be in a PvP situation in this weather effect, I'm going to have a major advantage because of my experience, where the other guy's screen is going to be very blurry and he won't know what to do. And the one thing I love about any game is the realism. And as you can see, it's pitch black in this room, like it should be, with the realistic rain effects and the rain sounds, which again just immerses you even more and more. I just love, some people don't like playing at night, and there are servers that are constant daylight. There are servers for every single need, but I love it at night. Just that isolation that I feel and the freedom. And of course it makes for really, really interesting PvP situations. And yes, guys, if it's not one of many elements killing you, there are of course mutants. This is one of your basic mutants that you will encounter. And realistically, with me having an axe and him not having one, it's a one-sided battle. And a fantastic thing about the game is if you do not want to, or you don't have a weapon, or you don't want to be detected by mutants, you don't have to be detected. And this is another great advantage to experienced players, is that after a while you see that mutants work on sight, so they can detect you from quite a distance away with sight. But when it comes to sound, their radius is quite small, so you can use that to your advantage as well. But as you can hear, that gunshot attracted many more mutants. Then of course there are caves, which is one of my favorite locations because it's not always a populated area. Very little players use the caves constantly, which is great because I love getting the resources that I need to sustain me through the storms and the various effects. And then sometimes the caves have got the big boy inside them, which is called the Brute, which is one of the strongest and toughest tanks that you will get in the game, as I'm showing you right here with the hand grenade. As you can see, that hand grenade just pissed him off. So you must be very careful when running into one of them. The fantastic thing for new players about these creatures is that, again, if you are not equipped to deal with them, then running is a great option, because mutants only follow you for a certain distance. They have got zones which they of course patrol in, but if you cross that zone, then they will stop and head back to their starting position. But again, if you fire a few shots in a populated area, you're gonna have a bunch of them on you, and again, ammunition takes some time to find, so you don't want to really waste your ammunition on mutants. It's better to use it on players. And of course, one or two mutants you can maybe survive, but if you're sitting with 3 to 4 to 5, you're in a dreadful situation. And then at one point in the game, you will be equipped to deal with this threat. As you can see, I'm sitting with the MP5 here, and yes guys, these are two guns, which is one of many in Miscreated. Miscreated's really got a very, very wide variety of guns with attachments, which makes it absolutely fantastic and meet everyone's playstyle. Down, boy. As you can see, you get armored brutes as well, so they're just adding to the challenge factor constantly. And of course, they're improving the gun sounds constantly. Oh yes, don't forget about the players. They're also on the island, which you must look out for. And yes, one of my favorite vehicles is the buggy, guys. And again, one of many vehicles. You get quads, buggies, trucks, sedans, SUVs, dirt bikes, you name it. So this game has got the complete package. And at the moment, the only place where Miscreated is falling a bit short is with the base building, which I find very challenging as an experienced player, but a few new players do struggle with it. But that will be their main focus for 2019, streamlining the base building, which is already very complete in my opinion, but they're just sorting out a few glitches on the base building. So yes, this year they will be focused on base building and raiding, which is going to be very exciting. And of course, there are various ways to feed yourself, which I haven't experienced in any other game. You can cook food on stoves, in microwaves, on grills, in bowers, and on crafted fireplaces. And you can even cook an egg. So yes, it's got the complete package, and it's a heck of a lot of fun. Again, guys, you've got the freedom to do just what you want. So guys, do me a favor. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button. And if you want to be notified of future videos and go through my training guides, because you will buy the game after this video, click that subscribe button, click that bell button to be notified of future videos. And please, go to Steam, buy the game. I promise you it will be the best investment that you will ever make. Just take my word for it. It's something that I've come back to over 4 years and I've constantly enjoyed. And it's always exciting. So yes, guys, hope you had fun. I love you guys, and yes, see you in the next video. Hope to see you soon.